Chitra led award-winning brand, social media, and sponsorship campaigns, including winning the Corporate IT Hero Award from the Information Technology Association of Canada for developing Apopolis, an online social networking application for sick children in partnership with Kids Health Links Foundation and participating hospitals. Welcome, Chitra.
So good morning, everybody.
Morning.
It's great to be here. My name is Chitra Anand. I am a mother of 2 young babies. I am a wife. I'm also a PhD researcher on a concept called intrapreneurship, which is all around this notion that large, complex organizations now need to take an entrepreneurial spirit from within in order to sustain themselves in the new economy, which I do part-time. And I am the head of communications for Microsoft Canada. So I'm really delighted to be here today to talk about the new world of work. And I'm starting to see elements of that throughout my research that I'm doing around entrepreneurship, but also largely just being in the tech space and sort of looking at some of the trends that are happening. So I just wanted to kick things off with this slide. It sort of juxtapositions 2 visuals of the Pope being announced in St. Peter's Square in 2005, and then the announcement in 2015. And you can kind of see how people are engaging in this new modern world. And I call it the modernization of our world now. And so the modernization of our world today is really dominated by 3 forces. The first one is really around globalization and the world as we know it. So technology has sort of unleashed the speed of globalization. So markets are interconnected like they've never been before. And the impact that that's had is that competition is now at a heightened level of fierce competition like we've never seen before. So if you're not happy with a product or service in Canada, you can go online and buy things on Amazon.com or Alibaba, and that sort of competition is in a state that like we've never seen before. So Canadian companies are now competing with large global organizations, so it's not just locally, but it's international markets that they have to compete with. So competition is fierce, like it's never been before. The second force is all around the changing demographic of our workforce. So we do have an aging workforce that are exiting the workforce as we know it now, with millennials now coming in, Gen Ys, Gen Zs. At Microsoft, we've got a whole slew of what we call MOOCs, which are an academy of college hires that are coming in. We invest a lot in co-op programs where we have, Gen X is even coming in. So there is a changing workforce, and we have to understand that these people expect to work differently. So we just want to keep that in mind around how work will evolve. The third force is around advancement in technology. So not only are we working differently, we are being presented with new technologies that empower people to achieve more in different ways. So whether it's using Skype, whether it's using Link, I'm calling out all Microsoft technologies, but technologies that really empower you to do things differently and work mobily in different ways. And so those are the 3 forces that are sort of modernizing our world, and that is being compounded by 4 megatrends that are impacting the way we work. And the first one is around mobility. So there's this whole notion of working anywhere, anytime. So we have to understand as businesses that the traditional office has now evolved. So we have to kind of say goodbye to our traditional office space and desks and understand that people now can work anywhere, anytime, and we have to recognize that we have to allow people to work in the environments that they can do their best work, wherever that may be. So if you go into a coffee shop right now, a Starbucks or a Dark Horse, you see something amazing happening. People are working. They are building businesses. They are co-creating, they're collaborating, and they're working at these long communal dining tables, and it's quite magical. We have to recognize that and allow people to do that. IDC just wrote a paper and said that 2/3 of the workforce is now mobile. By 2016, which is almost in less than a year from now, more than 76% of our workforce is going to be mobile. When I worked at TELUS, which was 3 years ago, they had an overall mandate where they wanted 50% of their workforce to be mobile. And that's for a couple of reasons. They wanted to empower people to work where they work best. They understood the fact that our customers were not in the office, they're out in the field. So I want to encourage that interaction with customers and partners, but also really wanted to empower people to do what they need to do within their own framework. I would argue that it's not work volume that stresses people out, it's the confinement in which we tell people that they need to work. because when you allow people to build their own schedules and their own framework, amazing things can happen. The second one is all around the fact that we need to be, we are very social. So social media, social platforms have now changed fundamentally the way we interact, the way we consume information, the way we interact with each other, the way we work, the way we voice opinions, the way we share information. So we all know that, but some stats confirm that. So we obviously know that online shopping has increased dramatically. It will continue to increase. We know that the younger generation really use smartphones in a way to engage with their friends and family when they're actually in stores making purchase decisions. 47% of consumers conduct an online search before buying. I'm sure that's not unfamiliar to you. I do that all the time. 70% of people trust consumers' opinions online. So I would almost argue that there's also this reverse engineering happening where people are now trusting each other rather than organizations and media. So consumers are now empowered like they've never been before to voice their opinions, share information, and they trust their friends and families before they make any sort of decisions. 33% are willing to pay more for healthier products. So when I talk about healthier products, I'm not just talking about things that are good for you, but it's about organizations that are socially responsible, making the world a better place, and this whole notion of socially conscious and social good. And the last one is around purchase decisions. So again, 71% of people actually refer to their friends and families before they make decisions. So all of this stuff is fundamentally changing how we act, how we interact, and how we consume information. The third trend is around something called cloud. And Alicia mentioned it earlier, but the cloud is sort of this complicated term, but at the very simplest term, it's about working over the internet. So it's storing your data over the internet. So I've got my laptop. If I were to lose it tomorrow, I'm not worried because all of my information is stored in the cloud on the internet, so that I can just log on any device and pick it up and pick up where I've left off. So I will have all of my files regardless. And so the beauty here is that in how we work, it makes us much more productive, collaborative. It makes things easier to get things done. So if I'm traveling, if I'm, I'm not tied to my desktop or my mobile or my laptop, I can just kind of pick up any tablet or any device and work off of the cloud. And the last one is around something that we call big data. And big data is a term that we've heard quite a bit, and people are saying that big data is now the new currency. And so the real thing that we need to understand about big data is because we're in information overload and we're being bombarded with information, the real key here is to be able to take that information and turn it into intelligent action. And so it's all around making decisions, in your day-to-day business lives, is taking that information and using it to your advantage and using it to your competitive advantage. So how are you going to take that information and turn it into something that's meaningful, that is going to help you achieve more and be more productive? And that's the whole idea of big data, right? So we're very good at collecting mass amounts of information, but it's really what do you do with that information that's going to make you even better? So those are the four big megatrends. I want to just end with a quick video that kind of takes all of these components around big data, cloud, social, and how an office in Amsterdam, Deloitte & Touche, is actually putting it into real life examples on how their office has evolved.
Welcome to the Edge. This is certifiably the greenest office building in the world. But that just might be the least interesting part about it, because the Edge in Amsterdam is also possibly the most connected office space in the world. Working at the Edge is insane. It all starts with a smartphone app developed by the building's main tenant, the consulting firm Deloitte. When you arrive at the Edge, a camera recognizes you by your license plate for automatic access. And because it's the Netherlands, there are chargers available for electric cars. Inside, things start to get interesting because you don't have a desk. No one here does. Workspaces are assigned to you based on your schedule for the day. You have options: a work booth, a meeting room, what they call a concentration room, a sitting desk, a standing desk, a balcony desk. You can even just hang out in the sun-filled atrium all day. This concept is called hot desking, and it's what allows Deloitte to have 2,500 workers, but less than half as many desks at its Dutch headquarters. The app knows your preferences, and when you arrive at your workspace, the lights dim or brighten based on your stored settings. And any of the building's massive flat screens can be instantly paired with an iPhone or a laptop. So what makes all this possible?
So a great example of an office, a truly connected office, tying in information, big data, cloud, a social platform on really how people want to work. So I just wanted to end on that. I can be found on LinkedIn, on Twitter. Feel free to tweet me, follow my research. I've got a blog on the Huffington Post. So feel free to reach out at any time if you have any questions. So thank you.